Hey everybody, it's Gomedex and welcome back to another premiere draft of Outlaws of Thunder Junction. Powered Cube does not get to have all the fun. We love flashback drafts on this channel, so we're going to keep playing them even during Powered Cube season. We'll go back and forth every day. Without further ado, let's get into our pack one, pick one of Outlaws of Thunder Junction. We have an excellent red mythic rare here, Terror of the Peaks. It's actually a reprint from, I think, a core set is when it first came out, but it's a pretty sick one. 5 mana for 5/4 flyer. Your opponent has to spend 3 more life to target this with their removal spell. And if they don't kill it immediately, then every creature you play for the rest of the game shoots anything for damage equal to its power when it enters the battlefield. So it turns all of your other creatures into a removal spells or a direct burn to your opponent's face. Card is super absurd and a very easy way to start this draft. Pick number 2, we have a reasonable red removal spell if we want to stay mono-colored off of the Terror of the Peaks. However, there are some pretty solid off-color cards here that I think are strong enough to want to go in those directions instead of just taking Derailment. We have Repulse here for an excellent tempo bounce spell. Bounce any creature and draw a card for 3 out of blue. There's also a pretty good black rare here for card advantage, for card draw. Pretty hard to cast. You do need triple black to actually draw the cards off of this. So it is a pretty late game play, but great value overall. Metamorphic Blast is also pretty good, but I do think Repulse is likely a little better for impacting the board almost no matter what's going on your side of the board. With Metamorphic Blast, you do need to have a creature in combat with an opposing creature to try to actually eat something with this, turning something into a rabbit. But you also draw more cards off of it. You draw 2 instead of just 1. So it's debatable. They're both pretty good, but I'm going to go for the Repulse here. Pick number 3, pretty happy we hopped on to blue because we get past a great blue rare. Pick number 3, which means 2 players on our right are not interested in the color, or this was a really weird pack and maybe it was double blue rare or something like that. But Duelist of the Mind is great. This shows off that committing a crime mechanic. A few of the mechanics in Outlaws of Thunder Junction are not really anything new. They're just weird ways to say stuff. So whenever you commit a crime, that means whenever you target your opponent or any of their stuff. So when we cast any removal spells like Repulse, when we get any Terror of the Peaks triggers and deal damage to our opponent's face with that, or target one of their cards with that, that will trigger the commit a crime ability. We'll draw a card, discard a card. So Duelist of the Mind is great. I mean, it's 2 mana for a 1/3 flying vigilance at worst. All you have to do is commit 1 crime to make it a 2/3 flying vigilance the turn you're attacking with it. And every time you do so, obviously getting some card selection as well. So Duelist of the Mind is awesome, and we're going to take that. Pick number 4 now. The packs are certainly getting weaker. My favorite cards, Servant of the Stinger maybe, Holy Cow. Those are both off-color to what we're doing now. Failed Forwarding is not that much worse than these two because they're not great. They're just solid filler. As the best stuff in the pack. We could also take Conduit Pylons for some filler mana fixing, or if we want to try to play a bajillion colors, or if we get pushed off of red, Villainous Wealth can be a really fun finisher. It costs a lot of mana to get some good value off of this, but if you do cast it for 7 or 8 or 9 mana, you will almost always win the game shortly after. So I think the other mono-colored cards are weak enough to go speculative here on just a big gold finisher. Pick 5, well now we can go ahead and take that Metamorphic Blast. Really nice if you play it as a combat trick when one of your creatures is fighting an opposing creature, but solid instant speed card draw no matter what. I don't mind it at all. Eroded Canyon, though, is somewhat fierce competition. Mana fixing in 2 of the colors that we're more likely to play than the rest right now. But I'm going to go for Metamorphic Blast. I think we can lock in on blue with that being one of the best, most well-represented colors we've seen getting passed around so far. What in tarnation? I do not think we are going to take that. I mean, I guess we could, right? It's Evolving Wilds at worst. A tapped land that taps for whatever color we need. Okay, a mythic rare Evolving Wilds. It's competing with Desert's Dew, which is excellent, efficient removal. Giant Beaver is also a nice chunky creature, but nothing it's competing well with on color. I think I'll actually still take Desert's Dew. This is one of the premium removal spells in black, and we could be like a blue-black splash green. Pick number 7, Phantom Interference is a solid counterspell. Jagged Barrens is solid fixing, and Bloodseeker if we want to hop onto black after that Desert Stew. I think I'm just going to go real deep on blue here. We can have one color we are confident on. Stay super confident on blue. Jailbreak Scheme, 3 mana. Put an artifact or creature back on top or bottom of its owner's libraries. More great tempo removal. Taking that over Avarice because that's the kind of card you need to be really confident you are deep into the color to actually play, and we are not at that spot right now. So I'm going to take Jailbreak Scheme. Pick 9, second Desert Stew, though. Maybe we will end up playing black and being pretty heavy in black and then be a little sad we didn't get Avarice, but don't think it was super worth the risk because it's just like solid card draw. It's not even like exceptional when you are the super black deck. Oh, there were 2 copies opened. Interesting. Well, Fake Your Own Death and Treasure Dredger are both quite fillers, so there is a chance that we are just blue-black control. Not a super high chance, but if that is the case, we can play the triple black draw spell. Pick 11, Hypothesis is wonderful. 5 mana, draw 2, discard a card, and deal 4 to a creature. Very splashable as well, just a single red mana required to play that. Some kind of Grixis control looks like where we may end up being so far. Grixis or Sultai. There is still the argument between splashing red for like Hypothesisal Terror or splashing green for Villainous Wealth. Luckily, the rare that we opened doesn't make us decide yet. It's just an excellent blue spell, blue being our deepest color already. It's an incredibly flexible counterspell, somewhat like Cryptic Command style where it does a whole bunch of stuff and counters a great spell. So easy to take 3 steps ahead here. And based on what we've been getting past, some really solid black stuff going late, like the second copy of Desert Stew was really late. I don't think black is super heavily drafted, and certainly blue is not, so we can probably wheel this Tyrant Scorn for more great interaction for our blue-black deck. If we try to go deeper on green, Armadillo is like really nice fixing. If we go like really deep on all 3 of these colors, but it still looks like blue and black is a really solid, really firm core to this deck. So I don't really want to take fixing in what is likely to be my splash color, my 3rd color. But I do want to point out we're seeing some really powerful green in this pack overall. Fibblethip's pretty bad. Super, super bad with counter spells. Just pretty slow in general. So Jailbreak Scheme, Murder, Mirage Mesa look best here. Grab a Murder. Pick 3, solid controlling kind of finisher here. The Marauding Sphinx is very hard to kill. It has 5 toughness and ward 2. It is a 3/5 with flying and vigilance as well, so it gets to chip in for damage while holding up on blocks. This card is really nice. Obviously, our massive stack of removal plays really well with it, letting us surveil every time we're casting removal. Happy to take Marauding Sphinx here. Canyon Crab's okay as well in these controlling decks. Just put the big booty on the board early, and anytime that we're holding up a counterspell or just waiting to cast an instant, we get to draw a card, discard a card as well. So Canyon Crab has some good synergy here too, but I think Marauding Sphinx is a good finisher, looks better, and more important for what we're like really missing right now. We need some way to end the game. Pick 4, we see a few fine options. Removal spells like Derailment and Terminal Agony off the red splash, or just Raven of Fell Omens in black. Drain our opponent for life as we're doing all of our controlling stuff. The auto mana values are really bad with spree cards because it just takes into account the initial cost, which you're never doing. I think I take Raven here because I'm on a lot of interaction and not a lot of creatures currently. So I want a few of those, even if I don't want as many as normal. Trying my best to sort these mana costs out based on what they actually are with Spree. And then have our splash here over in the side. Alright, Forsaken Miner is strictly an aggressive card. Peerless Rope Master is okay as a slow way to stabilize. I think I'd rather just grab Fixing here and get that Jagged Barrens. Now we can go ahead and take a Canyon Crab. In slow matchups, Archive Trap can end the game, because there are some slower decks in the set, like this one. But against an aggro deck, this card is worthless. So I'm just going to take Canyon Crab, because it does at least something in every matchup. Pick 7. Now we take one of these stabilizing rope masters over just a little link breaker, I suppose. This pack looks quite bad overall. Greed's Gambit at least is kind of cool instead of just mediocre filler. It's like bad, weird, specific, mythic rare kind of filler. Yeah, I'm not going to play around with that. That's too much nonsense. We'll take Tyrant Scorn here, which we did wheel, which is beautiful. Another Jailbreak Scheme. Would not mind a bit of card draw in this kind of deck. I'm going to take Seize. Like to end up cutting Corrupted Conviction if I can. And probably take the Fall. Maybe Avarice, since we are splashing a third color that makes triple black. Somewhat difficult. Overzealous Muscles, quite filler. And then Villainous Wealth, we don't want to double splash. And Tear the Peaks is also double red. So there's another Repulse here, which looks great. This is the most consistent, simple option to take. But there's some other ways to go. Festering Gulch to go for this Villainous Wealth. Simulacrum Synthesizer. If we play a bunch of artifacts, we have drafted 0 artifacts right now. And they have to be mana value 3 or greater. Okay, yeah, I'm not going to try that. So it's really just Repulse or the Gulch. Lively Dirge is cool too if you have a strong enough creature at mana value 4 or less. Like if you have one of the 3 mana or 4 mana bomb rare creatures, Lively Dirge, you can just tutor it out, put it on the board. It's absolutely absurd. But this deck does not right now, so we'd be gambling on getting one. Okay, pack 3, pick 2. Not a ton going on here. I don't mind another Canyon Crab. This is going to be the Crab Rave archetype today. Stoic Sphinx is such a pickup. If anybody was unsure if blue was open at all, getting passed from the same direction as pack 1 is where we're going to see how open blue really is based on our reads from pack 1. And sure enough, once again, a great blue rare is passed to us, pick number 3 out of the pack. Pick number 4, This Town Ain't Big Enough, is solid. And that's it for this pack. For pick 5, I wouldn't mind another Raven of Fell Omens. Get some more of our chip damage in while we're committing tons and tons of crimes, which we absolutely are doing in this deck. Another filler crime-committing synergy card, or filler removal with derailment off the splash. I'll take the Apothecary here. A lot of our blue interaction is pretty tempo-based, so we do want a couple more creatures to like have on the board with some power, so I could like have a 3-2 on the board, then bounce the blocker, jam 3 in, or put it back on top, jam 3 in. So a little bit more like threats that actually have power would be nice, I feel. Fleeting Reflection. Somebody gets hexproof and untap it. So it's a 2-mana Snake Veil, mostly. Not very into that. I don't mind a Bloodseeker. Commits a crime, gets lifelink damage in early. Sure. I am very much a fan of getting a Soured Springs. Our fixing is not great. So I'll take any more fixing that I can get my hands on. Bucolic Ranch is not actually fixing except for mount creatures, so basically only in green-white. Third Raven is the most likely to play. Failed Fortin could be okay too. But I'm not sure I have room for either of those. I will rare draft a bad blue rare. You know what? No, I'll take the owl. Although I don't think we're running that either. It is kind of the better card though. Razzly Dazzly and a Peddler. I am not into either of these in this deck. But I could play another Jailbreak Scheme. So what if we just go real low curve, tempo, just chip away with Ravens while we hold them off their big plays with a couple counter spells and a whole bunch of bounce. That kind of deck wants a lower mana curve where we cut our weakest 5 drops and cut land here. Be fine. Do I need Hypothesis anymore? Like, I could cut another 5 and just play all, like, bounce and put it on top, all that kind of nonsense. Yeah, if I'm not going as far as to splash the dragon, I could get away with just being pure blue-black tempo here, all in on Ravens. Cut Hypothesis and cut a land. And that's a deck right there, blue-black tempo, blue-black flying. Get some kind of 2-drop on the board, keep their big stuff off the board, and just keep chipping away. Finish it off with a gigantic flyer. Looks good to me. Pretty gnarly looking deck here. 16 blue cards, 9 black, but we do have things that require double black, so I don't want to go super lopsided towards the blue, so we can go 9-8 on it, and that seems fine to me. Yeah. Call it a deck here, hop into the gameplay, see how far some Dimir tempo can get us. A slow hand here, and we're on the draw. I mean, the mana's good. Hard to mulligan a hand with good mana in draft. But we could just get aggroed here. I'm gonna keep it and see what happens. Please no green. Please no green-white. First draw is a land. There's a lot of pretty strong, like, super splashy and kind of slower decks. So I'm just really hoping we're against one of those. Our opponent's currently on blue-white, so at least not the most aggressive deck. Although Sheriff of Safe Passage, it's a pretty aggressive card. Very lucky draw, we hit a 2-mana creature to run out on turn 2. They are 3-color, blue, white, and green. There's the forest, natural 3-color on turn 3, off of all basics. There's a Razzle Dazzler, they can now Sheriff for free, and that'll be the double spell for the Dazzler to give it the buff. Okay, Apothecary. I do kind of have to play to the board at this rate, so we'll run that out and pass. Metamorphic Blast is really bad against +1/+1 counters, isn't it? Another plot from our opponent, they get to play a clone next turn for free. Get another double spell for Razzle-de-Dazzle. And the Razzle Dazzler is unblockable when they do that. So they're going to get an unblockable swing with the Dazzler and some damage in the sky. I do not think an instant speed Metamorphic Blast is going to do anything. So we just play Seize the Secrets instead. And save the blast. Okay, big bomby mythic. This is a lot of what Outlaws of Thunder Junction is known for. Probably the bombiest set of the year that it came out. Tons of absolutely phenomenal rares and mythics. Selvala certainly being one of them. Giving them another creature every time they play one and tapping for about 1,000,000 mana. I'm gonna go Nurturing Pixie as the clone to pick up the Sheriff. Recast it even bigger here. Unblockable swing from the Dazzler. Run out the Sphinx and start actually holding this flying damage off of us if we can. But they will be able to more than pay for the ward if they have removal in their hand for the Sphinx, thanks to Selvala. We do have a lot of removal, or at the very least, like bounce in this deck, so that's what we really want to draw here. We haven't drawn any bounce spells or removal spells at this rate. Deep Muck Desperado. That mills us every time they commit a crime, but they have no way to commit a crime on board right now and only one non-revealed card in their hand, so I'm not particularly worried about Desperado right now. Tyrant's Scorn. Well, there is a piece of removal. It doesn't exactly kill what I need it to, because it doesn't get rid of Selvala, which is the most concerning card right now. It's 5 mana for maximum value Metamorphic Blast, so I can't play Duelist and hold that up. I think I'm just passing through here. I'm getting our Sphinx damage in, though. One turn from now I can play Duelist and still have Blast up. I guess we probably end up scorning this Sheriff. It is a 9/9. Okay, I was gonna say maybe we scorn Selvala. We'll see what's in their hand here. Or not scorn, we Metamorphic Blast Selvala. And get to kill both. I think I just blocked Desperado with Sphinx and Bloodseeker, because, like, Bloodseeker's not getting it anyway. Don't even need to use Metamorphic Blast here. Well, this is not unblockable right now. What am I doing? I just get the free kill there. I'm at 13. I probably do want to block both. Then I don't have Death Touch for Sheriff anymore, but I have Scorn for it. So Blast is not going to work on Razzle Dazzler because it has counters on it, so it would still be a 2/3. Gain 5 here, mill lands, draw 2. Okay, well, that all worked out. Now I get to hold up a counterspell. It's not the best counterspell to hold up, it's counter unless they pay 2. Pretty late in the game, also with a Selvala that's tapping for 1,000,000, so I don't think the counterspell half of this is going to be super relevant, but we still get a creature out of it at least. Counter target creature spell, get a +1/+1 counter. I cannot stop that from resolving. But I could tax them 2 mana, there's no reason to. Okay. So they are completely playing off the top now. They do get pixie damage in through our Sphinx. Send in Selvala too, okay. Okay, get demolished by the narrowest counter. That's tragic. I think we're dead. Ah, you were one turn too late. 3 steps ahead. One surveil too late, I guess. I mean, I guess that's not lethal, but it's very close. Gross. And a possum. Yep. Too little, too late. A little bit too much of a land clump, I guess. 10 lands. Is this lethal? 2 blockers. Block, block. I guess I'm still not dead. But I'm definitely dead in 2 swings. These are not going to do it. Okay, maybe they will. Hold! Jesus Christ. Okay, you win. We needed them to not draw spells at some point. Instead, they drew Powered / Vintage Cube All-Star Fractured Identity. You got me. 0-1 heading into game 2. All right, here we are on the play this time for game number 2. Green black from our opponent. Here is Raven. Get my chip damage in initially. Voracious Varmint. Tempted to seize the secrets, because if I can hit land 4, then I can double spell these 2 on 4. Yeah, I really need to hit lands right now. I'm gonna seize. Golgari is a really nice deck. It's got some really good graveyard reanimation synergies and stuff. So like Armadillo is super good in it, because you can cycle that to get your land and then also reanimate it for like 5 mana. Oh, this bonus sheet. Yes, bonus sheet. Yeah, I don't think we're supposed to play around 1 mana reanimate. It is what it is. We need a 5th land to bounce this armadillo through the ward. I want to just play these two, but the problem is if I play these two and don't draw the land, then it's better to just draw the 2 and make it more likely to draw the land. I don't have the mana to draw the 2 and like kill a varmint here or something. And it's 5 mana to use this to make Armadillo a 0/1, so that doesn't work either. Oh, man. Well, I would have needed to cast that draw to get there, because Repulse was my next draw. We would have missed a land draw. So I can spend 2 and 2. I can try to combat trick it away with... Oh wait, no, I just cast that card, so obviously I can't do that. So I have to this town ain't big enough, essentially, is my only option that's cheap enough to cast here. And they could just have a Snakeskin Veil. Ay, ay, ay. Can I afford to take 7 here to counter this? Not really. But now if this town ain't big enough... Still 5. I go to 9. I can commit another crime next turn. Off of interference. I believe targeting spells is crimes. Maybe not. Countering spell, not a crime? That doesn't flavorly make a ton of sense, but it might not be. Okay, well, I can't counter that. Let's find out if countering spells counts. Yes, it does. Countering spells is committing a crime. Now I can jailbreak scheme the armadillo instead of this town ain't big enough to save this town ain't big enough for a double bounce in the near future. They have another land in hand, though. They just get to go land and replay it at this point. Yep, that hurts. Attack would mean not playing Armadillo if they don't have a land. I guess they actually didn't need the land for the recast. It's a 6 mana 7/7 for reasons. Holy Death Toucher. Holy Death Toucher. Let's go. I'm not going to hold up this town ain't big enough because I wouldn't be able to target through the ward anyway. Yay. Drain, drain, drain. I believe in you. Go, Raven, go. Alright, well that's cool. You can't make it up. I think we did about all we could there, but that'll be 0-2 then, heading into game number 3. All right, here we are on the play for game number 3. We are 0-2 right now. I would say we've rallied back from worse, but that's as many games as you can lose before you rally back. So let's start rallying, shall we? Let's get our win streak here and see if we can't get a more fitting record for this deck. Not perfect or anything, but I would expect it to average around a 5-3, much more than an average an 0-3 with it, so hopefully we can change things here. I could seize the secrets and hit really hard with Duelist this turn, but I can hit really hard with it next turn and have 2 creatures on board by then, so we'll do that instead. Murder the Apothecary over the Duelist. Don't mind that. Do I have any 1-drops in here? No, I have no 1-mana spell, so it doesn't matter what color I hold up. Just cast Seize pre-combat for the buff, and poke. This is our most interactive hand yet, I think. Our hand last game was pretty interactive as well, but they had like a 7/7 ward 3 on our 3rd turn, so it's kind of hard to pay that ward, so it doesn't feel as interactive. But it's certainly much better than our game 1 hand. I would like to counter your removal spell and draw a card and draw and discard a card. Those all feel like good things to do. Ayo, massive value. Here comes a 3/3. I don't think I care about the 3/3. Soured Springs, that Deserts do is -3/-3 now, so if I do care about it, I can do that. We get the crime trigger here as well. Okay. 5 mana to counterspell plus make a 2/2. So let's not play anybody else right now. We'll hold 5 up. That's a full 5 mana blast or 5 mana interference. Awesome school. They go to the end step. Draw a couple or kill somebody and draw 1, discard 1. Let's go boop, draw 1, discard 1. Find Marauding Sphinx. Find Murder. Solid opportunity to interference, but again, still not necessary on a 3/3. Then we've got the murder as well. Draw a couple cards here. See if we can get the land to drop Sphinx and still play some stuff. Certainly do. Sphinx hold up interference, taking 6/7. hate zoomers. Thoughtseize. Okay. Why is the bonus sheet like... I'm just playing against... I'm avoiding Powered Cube today. We're playing Flashback drafts. And I played against Fractured Identity Game 1. Reanimate Game 2. Thoughtseize Game 3. Big possum. I mean, they're dead to me committing one crime on this board, so let's just try to commit one crime. They're super dead to me committing one crime since I top decked the second Raven. Okay, the crime is still committed. That doesn't change lethal. Sure. Shove Desert Stew in the grave for fun, just to get the duelist buffed. Okay. I guess it would have been lethal without the second Raven, because the draw trigger made that powerful enough to do exact lethal without the second life loss there, but it made it safer. Okay, we've officially won at least one game of Magic with this deck, but again, I think it's a pretty solid one, so I would like to get a bit of a win streak going here, so let's just get right back in there and see if we can't win another few games. Alright, we got all interaction in the opener here. I guess there's one creature, but still. It's a solid start. We are on the draw, which could be hurtful for a hand like this, of all like counter spells and responses when we don't have the mana for them up immediately. Take 3. 3-drop is Miriam, we counter Miriam. Very powerful card. Counterspell to hold up. If we don't cast the counterspell, we scorn the Keykeeper. Drover Grizzly. 3 steps ahead can be incredibly impactful if I kick it for a bunch of mana. So I'm actually going to scorn the Grizzly instead of counter it. Jailbreak the Keykeeper here. They missed a land last turn, so make them miss a land again if they put it on top. So they put it on the bottom. So it's just full-on removal. Plot the Alchemist, get a little bit of damage in there, and then cast it next turn, sure. I need to get this Apothecary on board for 3 steps ahead to actually do its thing. So we really want to get a clone off of that to be stable. So I can go Apothecary, block, gain 3. Casting Blast. Never mind. Okay. So they get their 1 in. Yeah, this is pretty rough. Crab to block Alchemist and just take 1 damage. +1/+1 counter on all their creatures. They get a 2/2, 4 power creature. I can still block the 4, take 2. So we're still waiting to be able to make a clone. There we go. That is a hard choice. Go Bloodseeker. Makes it really obvious I'm holding stuff, but what are you gonna do? Go end step repulse so that if they try to play something main phase 2, we still get the counter. Okay, good enough. Oh, I'm 1 mana from getting the draw off of it too. I'd actually wait if I'm a mana from getting the draw too. Snakes can veil an ankle biter. They're not going to do that. Okay, there's the mana for the full 3 steps ahead now. If I just mill my whole deck off Canyon Crab combo. Okay, let's hoping some better to show up here, but I don't know. I feel like it's probably not right, but just, it's a crab party, okay? What can I say? Ooh, Stoic Sphinx ends this game. Stoic Sphinx ends this game. Marauding Sphinx probably does too, honestly. These crabs are not a May ability. I'm gonna play another crab so that I don't draw 2, discard 2, because I don't want to right now. There's the concession. Great stabilization from the tempo control stuff there. Scary start, but we managed to buy enough time to get to the fully kicked 3 steps ahead. And just have 3 crabs on the board. And we just needed to wait till we got a flyer, and there it is. Now we start chipping away. Opponent knows the writing's on the wall from there. Especially once we get this Stoic Sphinx down. Hexproofer, unless we cast a spell. So, pretty much unkillable, untargetable if we play it right. And that definitely finds the kill, so 2 and 2. We've rallied back to a 50-50 right now, but we will need at least one more win to get a 50-50 overall. See if we can't get a 3rd win here, heading into game number 5. Game number 5. Here we are on the play. You go first. 3 beautiful words. Opponent's on blue-red. We get to lead with our Raven and then just have all interaction, which is the deck plan. Do not shoot the raven. Evil. Such a beautiful creature. You strangle it in the desert like that. So evil. Say murder, because murder can kill higher mana value creatures. Maybe should have interference there, but if I top deck a land, I'd like to go land, interference, what they do, and get a token. The argument for interferencing there is interference, I have to have the exact mana up at the right time, and it has to be a cheap enough, or an expensive enough spell. We're just chilling on that. So if we had cast interference earlier, then we would know that interference got to counter something where there's no guarantee otherwise. Rakish Crew. Kill a token and put Lazav back in hand, that'll be fine. When the Outlaws die, they lose one, gain one. Cute. Well, these are not the draws I'm looking for. Certainly getting punished for not going murder over interference. If we did interference first, then we would still have the murder for the second Lazav here. It's theoretically an out. It's just 1 damage for now still. I'll vibe. It's a lot worse, but it's also not counterable. I could try to just play out the spirit token and then do the 0-1 thing. Land, and then Stoic Sphinx. That's a good one. Jailbreak into end step Sphinx. Do I cast this in their end step or mine? If I cast this in my end step, their only out could be instant speed removal. If I cast it in their end step, if they have instant speed removal, they can kill it with that then. So it kind of feels like either way is just as sketchy. They could have their own phantom interference also. That would be bad for me. All of the mana up pass? Did they put that on bottom? Oh, they put it on bottom. Okay, that makes sense. Alright, show me a counter spell. 2/2 flyer is bad enough, they wouldn't probably want to counter it. So that way I can put the bait out there. And if it resolves, fine. We're winning the race off of that alone. If it doesn't resolve, then I know we pulled out the removal for Sphinx. Okay, so we're the Sphinx during our turn, so it's hexproof during theirs. Alright. That should be a pretty winning board state. Oh god. Lockpicker, flashback something? Flashback Desert's due on my Duelist of the Mind, I guess. Sure. Now Lazav gets to copy somebody from a grave till end of turn. So Lazav can jump into the sky. Crom's the best option, right? But then Crom's exiled forever. Okay. Just go for the race. I actually do have a 10 mana card I could draw, or an 8 mana card I could draw. I should play that. Razzly dazzly. There's my 8 mana card. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I still don't have enough to do both if I do all modes. And it's death either way. Stoic Sphinx is just an incredible card. 5/3 flyer, you just cannot target it if your opponent doesn't play spells, and we just sat there beating in with it. No need to cast spells. It's already winning the race, and if we don't cast spells, they never have an opportunity to kill it. And that is 3-2 now. We've rallied from an 0-2 start, facing against some pretty powerful stuff. We've now flipped it back to 3-2 in our favor. Very, very nice turnaround here. Pretty happy where everything's go from here. However, again, if I had to bet when I finished drafting and looked at the deck, I would say a 5-3 on average, 7 winner on a good run, 3-3 on a bad run. Hopefully we can turn this into an average run, but after the 0-2 start, wouldn't be surprised if this does end up being that 3-3 on a bad run kind of record. We'll have to see as we head into game number 6. Tremendously powerful hand. Granted, we need to draw lands for it. Keep this. If they don't blow up Duelist of the Mind, turn 3 we get to draw and discard to do some digging. Black-green, there's Aloe Alchemist. Very aggressive start on the play. On the play, drop a 2-mana 3/2 trample. Certainly under pressure here, and our first draw was not a land, so if we miss on the second draw as well, this could be a very sketchy game. Conduit Pylons, and they surveil to the top. Take 3, go to 17. And curve out, alright. 2-mana 3/2 Trampler, 3-mana 3/1 draw a card. Very, very nice curve. Start the game for them, and we miss on the draw here. Can Metamorphic Blast one of their creatures to draw and discard, praying for the land draw? I need the land quite badly, so I do think I Metamorphic Blast over Raven of Fell Omens. However, I do think I wait till their turn to do it. There's an argument to do it right now for no value. Right, just to draw and discard, to hope to hit the land drop. That way I can actually play a land this turn. By waiting to do it till their turn, I'm guaranteeing that even if there's a land on top here, I have missed my land drop last turn. So that's the downside. But we'll still get that one dig towards towards our third land in the future. And this way I actually kill one of their creatures by waiting till their turn. If they don't have Snakeskin Veil or some kind of combat trick, and if they do have Snakeskin Veil specifically, they'll have to cast it before I declare the block, so I don't even get got by it. Right, I still get my draw and discard, and then Duelist of the Mind doesn't die because I don't declare the block if they cast a Snakeskin Veil. Well, would have hit the land, that's awkward. I kind of think I have to ditch the 5 drop. Strong as it is. So it'd have to be something other than Snakeskin Veil, and Snakeskin Veil is by far the most popular combat trick for green, particularly green-black. Okay, Trash the Town doesn't do too much. It makes sure Alchemist doesn't die, but neither does Duelist, so that is fine. And then I've got a really good target for Jailbreak, because we get rid of all the counters on that. Another Raven. Land Sphinx. Over land Raven Raven. I think this is going to be Land Sphinx. I think I ditch a Raven. By going land Sphinx, it also allows me to hold up the counter spell. If they play something really bad, I can counter instead of playing Sphinx. Certainly losing the race here, but it's a moderately close race, and Sphinx could change it. Rooftop Assassin 2/2, Flying Lifelink. Yep. Desert Stew. Yep. Sphinx. And hopefully they don't have the double removal here. They could have a second combat trick too. Yep. Wow. So they had double trick plus removal. Add another land, this might be enough. Bounce 2 of those back, just take 2 for the turn, would be the plan. Have the teeniest chance in the world I repulse into land to play Repulse plus Raven. Problem with repulsing Alchemist is they still get that buff off the plot. So I repulse Assassin, play land, and trade with Plunderer, take 3. None of my options are good. That feels like the only one that is close enough. If I just cast Raven, trade there, take 5. Also an option. 18-7. Oh, man. Alright, you got me. We go to 2, or sorry, we go to 1. Since we missed the land, and then Plunder. Copy number 2 gets the kill, and we still miss another land. Wow. Alright, rough draws there. To pull us down to the 3-3, it is as expected. The lower end of the stick. A worse run in terms of variance and luck there. Yeah, we just needed a little bit more lands a little faster. So we had some really powerful tools there, but we had to deploy them much faster than we managed to end up doing so that game. I don't think I'm running too few lands here, though. I think 16 is fair for this deck. A lot of 2s and a lot of 3s. First 2 losses, again, just a really, really powerful stuff on our opponent's side of the board. I mean, a 7/7 ward 3 on the board while we're on our turn 3. It's going to be pretty hard to beat. So yeah, it is what it is. I like the deck a lot. I'm pretty happy with how I drafted and the deck that we ended up coming up with. I think it was capable of a 7 winner on a good day, a 3-3er on a bad day, and unfortunately today was a bit of a bad day for it variance-wise. So 3-3, just an average record for what I would say is a little bit above average of a deck here. 3-3 will be the start to our return trip to Outlaws of Thunder Junction. If it's any consolation, there's pretty much the only way to go from here is up. It is not often I get worse than a 3-3, so we'll have to see what crazy stuff we get to do in the future to make it above this 3-3 record. But as for now, that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send us more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. And if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.